Welcome to our how-to guide for creating a new email campaign in Sugar CRM. This how-to guide assumes that you've already created a target list and you've already set up your outgoing email settings and your group inbox as covered in our previous videos. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into our campaigns module, okay, and we're going to follow the campaign wizard to set up our new email campaign. So we're going to select the newsletter type here. Now the reason for that is that a newsletter, as opposed to an email campaign, allows us to, or allows our users or contacts to specifically subscribe and unsubscribe to multiple campaigns, as opposed to it being a single broad unsubscribe. Okay, so in technical terms, it maintains a separate suppression target list for each campaign. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the newsletter type. Okay, you don't need to understand all of that stuff, you just need to pick newsletter. Okay, and we're going to set up a new monthly email newsletter. Okay, now what we're going to do, we'll set the end date. These fields here are really not relevant, okay? They're there purely for statistical reporting purposes. They don't affect the campaign itself. So we're going to go next. Okay, again, these are all about measuring return on investment for our campaigns. Okay, and then we jump into our campaign tracker URLs. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a new tracker for our website, okay, so that we can include that in the particular email. Now I should note, look, it's generally not needed, or it's absolutely not needed to create an opt-out link here. The best approach is simply to leave the campaign without an opt-out link, and then the system will automatically append that. We've found that to be the most reliable way to go. Okay. All right. We'll jump to the next page now that we've created our target or our tracker URL. Okay. Now here is where we select our target list. Okay. So we created a target list in our previous videos. Okay. So let's add that target list now. Then we're going to let the system automatically create our unsubscribe and our test list. Okay. Now the unsubscribe list, we may choose to use one that we've created previously. Let's say we had a list where our contacts had previously unsubscribed. We wanted to reuse that to make sure they didn't get sent an email by mistake. We can reuse that from there. Okay. All right. Now let's go to the next screen. Okay, and this is where we actually define the email itself. Okay. So let's call this August newsletter. Okay, status should be active. Start date and time is very important. That is when the email is scheduled to actually start being sent out. Okay. All right, so this is when we want the actual email to go out. All right. And the mail accounts, that's going to come from our bounce handling account that we set up earlier. Okay. And finally, which target list do we want to send this out to? Generally we select all target lists in the campaign, though you can get more specific if you need to. And finally, what we're going to do is we're going to create our email template. Now, as with any email marketing, it is a good idea to create your email template from HTML to make sure that it's going to present well in all of the various email clients out there, but it's not compulsory. So there is a WYSIWYG editor within Sugar CRM that allows you to create your emails. Okay. So let's name the email. Okay, we'll set the email subject. Okay, and then we'll set the content. Okay, so dear, okay, and let's drop in the name, the first name of our contact. Okay. Okay, and let's drop our URL, our tracker URL in there. Okay, so we would obviously do a better job of the design there, but that's fundamentally how we create our email content. If we want to put the HTML in directly, we can simply click the HTML button there. Okay, and that gives us a much higher level of control. Okay, let's save that. Okay, and finally we can go to the next step, okay, which is to send out a test to our test list, and then finally to schedule the email. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up there, okay, and we can verify that we've got our email campaign. Okay, so before we can go any further, we need to create our test list, okay, or at least we need to populate our test list. So what we're going to do here is we're going to click on our test list, okay, and I'm going to add a number of people to that test list. Okay, I'm going to add just my administrator, okay, and then I can go back into my campaign. Okay, now I can switch to, okay, to the campaign wizard. Okay, alright, if we go into our campaign, okay, so let me jump back into the wizard there, as that is the easiest way to go. And we can see that our test list now has one user in that test list. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to verify that I'm happy with that particular campaign. I'm going to send a test. Okay, what that's going to do is that's going to compose the email, send it to everyone on that test list. Okay, and then if we go view status, we can now see that we have one message in the queue ready to be sent. Okay, so what we need to do is just wait for that to be sent. Okay, now we need to make sure that our email campaign is set to run. Okay, and we do that via the scheduler. Okay, so let's quickly do that. Okay, now you should again only ever need to do this once. Okay, so the mass email campaigns. So we can set its own. We can see it's only set to run from 2 AM to 6 AM. Okay, so let's tell it to run on the hour every hour. Okay, so that's going to give us the ability to test the campaign locally now. Okay, so we're going to receive that email. Once we're happy with that, we can then schedule the email. Okay, at which point it will sit in our queue. Okay, so let's schedule our email, assuming that we're happy with the test. Okay, so that's now been done. So if we view our status, okay, we can see that we have 213 emails that are scheduled to go out. So what will happen as they get sent out on the 30th of August, we will then start to see statistics around who's viewed that message, who's clicked on our click-throughs, and so on from there. Okay, so that covers how we create our first campaign, and what we'll be doing in our next campaign is covering how we then use that same campaign to send out future newsletters without having to set up a whole new campaign each time. Okay, and we'll cover that in the next video.